stress free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress free, leave your cares at home. Leave your cares at home.
Yellow. What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Russ Mitchell, the homesick Buckeye. I am here with you. It's a Tuesday. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Appreciate you standing by with us. I don't know what's going on with my computer and StreamYard. It's probably StreamYard. It's always something with StreamYard, but I don't have my virtual background. So here you get the beige.
It's a good color.
That's right, man. A neutral color is what they call it. But we are here. We'll bring it in the right way. We are here Tuesday night on the can with the fam, and I got my girl Laura with me. She's my favorite person to grill, chill, or kill with. So we are here tonight just to hang out, have a little fun, see what we get into. As always, we will put the link in the chat. If you want to come in, hang out with us, you are welcome to do so. And we will kick it off. How you doing, Laura?
I am doing good.
Got your fuzzy pajamas on there?
I have my camouflage pants on. You better believe it. My fuzzy
you're going hunting. You're going hunting later on.
Well, got to be ready in case something, you never know.
You don't have to worry about that now. The election's over. I'm kidding. I don't want to get into that. I'm sure there's some disgruntled people out there. Some, the math says the 50%, if there's the 10 people, 5 of them are going to be happy, 5 of them are not. Now, in our room, it may be a little different. But yes, we were on election night, and folks were watching last week, the election, and it's over now, and the world keeps turning. How was work?
I can honestly say I didn't watch any of that coverage at all.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of, after the stream, I just watched a little bit.
Right.
I'm not one of these hysterical people. I don't get hysterical about anything. So I really, obviously I had a preference, but if my candidate didn't win, the world's not going to stop turning. I'm not moving to another country. No other country will have me. So, it's like I'm stuck here. And, we've had Bush, we've had Obama, we had Clinton, we've had Trump, we've had all. And at the end of the day, the world keeps turning.
We're still here.
That's just kind of how I look at it. Yes, there's some things that, you don't like, but I really think it's like a pendulum. It really swings back and forth. And the pendulum swings far one way, then it swings the other way. And then when it's in the middle somewhere, that's pretty much where everybody's happy. So
not going to find that.
I approach it like I approach about everything in life, cracking jokes and being silly. That's really how I look at it. So we got our regular folks there. Bruce is here, my main man. Good to see you. Charlie. Charlie's here. Good to see you, man. May the fat be with you. We got Quackity Quack man there with us, all with his brother. Good to see you, Rick. Glad you're here. My Apex Odyssey. Love that. And fire alarm went off at 2 a.m. for you there. I understand that. Get your sleep, brother. Get your sleep. And I think these are chats. Brenda's here. Hey, Brenda. Good to see you. Brenda says, yo. I guess she's been watching the Run DMC videos or something. I don't
And the Fonzie. He used to say, yo.
Yeah. So, I'm with you too, man. Listen, not going to stop me, man. We get here, do what we do, crack a few jokes, get a few laughs. I'm here for the people. I'm a man of the people. I'm here for the people. I like to hang out, talk, keep chopping up with the family, see how everybody's doing on a Tuesday night. Stadium or no stadium, we'll try to figure out what's going on with all that. I don't know. But since my background should be changing too. Yeah. I'm with you there, Rick. A couple things came to mind this week with me. I was watching, and I know since I have you on, I know you'll have something to say about these things. Uh, I guess some new study was found, or some new information was found out about one of these drugs. I can't remember which one, and bone density loss. One of these GLP drugs, one of these weight loss, obesity, miracle drugs, and a lot of people know that I trade options and stuff like that every day. And so it was a thing today. A company was down because they had some bad news about their GLP drug and harming people's bone density, people losing bone density. And obviously not a doctor, not practicing any medicine or anything like that here. Just talking about our lives and our experiences and our opinions on things. Um, but there's no miracle pill. There's no magic pill. And every medication has a side effect. And I'm sorry, but I don't need any kind of bone density loss. I need strong bones, and I don't need anything that's gonna take anything that's gonna eat my bones away. What do you know? I know you know. I should ask you. Tell us what you know, and I'm not going to ask you what you
Yes.
know about this. Tell us what you know about this because I know
So,
you know plenty.
some medications that we take are truly medication. They're just compounds put together. Sometimes they're taken from nature and just manipulated so that they can put a patent on them and make money. GLP-1 agonists are actually hormone that you are taking. It's similar to like what an insulin, you have to inject it. I think they do have an oral version of it, but the whole premise behind how it works makes perfect sense, that you have the bone density, that you're losing bone density, because the way those work is they shut down your stomach and your small intestine, which is where the enzymatic action happens to break down your food and break it into those molecules so you can put it to the bones, to the blood, to the muscle, to the skin, to the brain. And when you do that month after month after month, you're obviously going to be deficient. It's very similar to people who had like the gastric bypass, where they had a portion of the stomach taken off and the small intestine. They lose like intrinsic factor, B12, things like that. So when you're not digesting your food and it's just sitting there putrefying, and then a lot of them will tell you that they feel nauseous all the time. Not that you haven't been pregnant, but some people, they have morning sickness. Well, that is what they report. And I've had patients that were on it, and I'm like, do you like feeling like you're got the flu? Like that
Yeah.
doesn't seem fun to me. So yeah, I warn everybody. I did a video on GLP-1 on my channel 8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago. I mean, it's a long time ago, because
Yeah.
I they had been out medically already just for a few years using them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were,
Yeah.
yeah, we were already seeing that issue. So I'm like, well, it's only going to get worse when you have the masses of people using it. And then it isn't available, and that's what we've seen happen. It Then you have shortages for the people who do need it medically,
Yeah.
because the people, and like some of the actresses and bigwigs, they're out there buying it, and then you can't have it for the ones who truly do need it for a condition. So yeah, I've always warned against it. I'm like, I'm always like, hey, if you don't have enough willpower to do it on your own, let me know.
Yeah.
Like we have Marco Polo group, that myself and Robin are doing for people. We have a men's group. So, any men out there, if you want to get into a Marco Polo group, which is somebody that would help, um, Charlie is in one of the groups.
Oh, yeah.
So, Darth Carnivore. It's just good because you have things you can bounce off each other. You can ask questions. You have Robin, you have myself, that if they have concerns or question anything like that, we just constantly are in contact on that app. And it's really helpful, but I welcome any men to come over to that. They just have to send me their email, and then we get them going on that. But I think that people just need help, and I think they're so used to having that quick fix, that pill that's gonna fix everything, and there are very few things on the market that are truly going to ever fix anything. They're never going after the root cause. They're always trying to shut down the symptom that our body is
Yeah.
wonderfully made to do. So I
Yeah.
wish nobody was taking them.
Yeah. So any men can join Laura's group, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Anybody, yeah, we have a women's group, we have a men's group. And it is 19.99 a month, so there is a charge, but you just have to go to My Healthy Carnivore and join, or if you want to do it through Robin Heron, Carnivorous Grandma, you can go there. And there's a join button, and it's called like Felines Carnivore Life or Carnivore Life 24/7, something like that. Um, and I promise you, you get your 19.99 worth. And I'm not a salesman, but I promise you, you will get your money's worth. We make
There you
sure.
go. And I'll even do the theme song for you. Any men, any men. Join Laura's
Yeah,
group. She'll have you feeling great. She'll help you lose some weight. I'm
that's
telling you,
right.
any men,
You're hired.
any men. Join Laura's group. There you go. See, you just leave it to me. You see, you don't learn anything. But who else could come up with a goofy song in 30 seconds, a theme song for Laura's Marco Polo group?
I'll take it.
There you go. Shout out to all the girls, by the way, the ladies of the Meaty Mondays, who I'd like to thank them again for lowering their standards and allowing me to come on their stream. This last week, they had their 100th episode. You guys need to check them out on Mondays. Meaty Mondays, Robin Heron and Laura and my girl G Brown. And now is Rhonda still with you and Rebecca, right? That was her name. Oh no, they're not. Okay.
And actually, no, there is no Meaty Mondays anymore. So that
Oh,
was the last episode. Um,
there you
so
go. Shows you what I know.
potentially, yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go out with on an all-time low. Bring me on the stream. It's like, man, we are. This is so bad. We're gonna end it.
Yeah. No,
The last stream, we're
we
gonna
did
bring this
the
clown out here.
52 weeks. Um,
Yeah.
And as we all know, last week was dramatic for some people. And so it just kind of went away. And I think myself and one other person may start collabing together again um, in the near future. Just some people needed to kind of take a break. But I did
Yeah.
do my first live yesterday at
Hmm.
5:30, so I'm trying to be conscientious of doing a half-hour show and trying not to do over anybody else's times. Um, but yeah, so it was a good show. I was telling people
It
how
was
to get
wonderful,
through
and I'm very
Thanksgiving.
sad. I'm sad that it ended, and I
I am
enjoyed
too.
you guys. I didn't get to catch it all the time, but you're three of my favorites. Of course, you're my favorite. But it's just
You better say that.
I know. I know. Hey, listen, I want to live. I'm not trying to die. So I think we have some
Right.
new folks there. Kimberly Myers says,
Yeah.
"Hey," and my wife had a root. And why watch her ferritin levels there? I think he's talking in code.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to decode anything. So
Iron. It's
is
her
here.
iron levels.
Lady Picanha. Lady Picanha is
Yes.
in the building. Love you, sis. I hope you're doing well. I have not seen you for a while, but I do think of you often, and I'm so glad you're here. And
I think she's gonna be doing a video with Robin coming up, I believe, I
love
think.
it,
I could be speaking
love it.
out of turn, but
Love it, love it.
I
Two of
think.
my faves. I don't know why you don't come on in here with us, Christy, but I don't blame you. A little bit of me goes a long way. And this is the Lioness After Party. Absolutely. We love to have the Lioness After Party. Jenny, I haven't seen you for a while. Are you going to join Laura's men's group? I'm already in a private group with Laura called Family. So there you go. Let's
Yeah.
see here. And yes, I enjoyed yesterday's show. See,
Oh, well, thank you.
see, what did I tell you? Lady Picanha. I know her. I know her.
She's got good taste.
Yes, she probably doesn't know this because she hasn't watched me in a while, and I don't blame her for that. I wouldn't watch me. She has much better things to do. But Picanha has moved into a solid into the number 2 spot. And you know what?
Yay!
I don't even have to because I can tell her in person. I have her with us here today. Look, everybody. Listen, I had to beg, but
you guilted me into it, Ross. You gave me the guilt trip and it worked.
That's right.
Dang
it never works on anybody. I can't believe it.
I'm an easy mark. What can I say?
It is so good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while, seen you in a while. Probably since Texas in May. Although I always pop in and see what you're doing there. But in terms of talking to you, I was gonna call you actually about a week ago. I'm like, you know what? Let me see if she changed her number on me.
He's blocked.
Yeah, that's right. Let me see if she blocked me. But I said on the show, I don't know, a few weeks ago, that of course I gave you a name that you did not know about, but that you know now. I don't know if you heard about it through the grapevine because I mentioned it on several different streams.
No.
You're Lady Picanha. So
I am. I need a crown.
I didn't say Queen Picanha. I said Lady.
Well, I'm
Picanha.
upgrading.
That's right.
Because I will tell the story for those who may not know or may not have heard it. And you didn't stream that. I was gonna say you could stream this to your folks if you wanted to, but you didn't.
Let's do it. I'm gonna do it right now.
If you want to, I mean, hey, listen, I don't blame you if you don't want anybody to know you came on this show. I don't blame you for that. Hey,
They're like, who are those crazy people?
Blame you for that. But yeah, but if you want to stream it out to your folks and hang out with us for a little bit, you're certainly welcome to. You may not have planned to be at all. But I came on. I told this story. I've told the story a few times. I heard you were on Larry's stream, I think, the Carnivore Soldier. Shout out to Larry. And he was asking people what their favorite cut of meat was, and you said picanha. And I laughed out loud. I'm like, what? Are you from a different planet? Do you have some type of picanha sponsorship? I
didn't say ribeye. It's practically sacrilege. I'm gonna get the Reverend Low B Carbon's gonna come after me.
Yeah.
What's his name?
No.
Anyway.
The Reverend doesn't come after anybody. But I, and yes, it is true. And if you know anything about me, I'm a natural born weirdo, and I hate being like everybody else and doing what everybody else does. It's like it gives me indigestion. So everybody's like, "Oh, ribeye," and I'm even though I'm like, I hate myself for thinking like everybody else. I'm like, yeah, me too. I mean, it's just it's the best cut. And you said picanha. Now I felt a moment of pride because I'm like, I'm so glad and happy that she didn't say rib. I think that's wonderful, and that's one of the reasons why I adore you. So you said picanha, but I'm like, oh, there is no cut of meat steak that is better than a ribeye. I mean, it might be okay, but it is not. Well, I had never had picanha, and I had it, and I'm like, it's not better than ribeye, but I like this. I like it a lot. So I ended up finding it locally. They sell it everywhere, but I just never paid attention. And I made some at the house, and it was so good. I had to argue with myself about who made it. I was like, there's no way you made this. I'm like, yes, I did. I'm like, no, you didn't. Yes, I did. It was fantastic. And I made an executive decision right then and there that picanha has passed New York strip as my second favorite cut of meat. It is now ribeye and picanha and then New York strip. So there you have it. And it's all because of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad I could be of service. That is amazing. I try to convert people to picanha pride every chance I get. I've introduced several people to it, like my friend Ellie over at Linus Lifestyle. She is now a picanha convert as well as and Adrian too. So you haven't tried picanha, don't be sleeping on that picanha because it's delicious. Yeah.
Yes. Well, like I said, I've introduced other people to it, and it's all because of you. All because of you. So yeah, there you have it. There you have it. So what have you been up to? What's been going on since I saw you last? And what do you have coming up?
So what's been going on? I think since really I saw you last, I don't know if you know, but my son went carnivore this year, Russ, back in February.
I remember you telling. Yes, I got a glimpse. I heard about that. I love it.
Yeah, the boy is killing it. I mean, he is killing it. He is making stuff. We talk about this on the carnivore channels like, how am I going to make it through the holidays? Am I going to eat a bunch of carbs? What's going to happen? How do I do it? I mean, he just went through Halloween, got invited to trick or treat.
They're from the solar.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. My doorbell's ringing and my son is talking to me. All
right. Yes, trick or treat. You don't have candy, you trick people, I guess. That's
yeah, sorry. Right. I guess there's someone at the door that absolutely has to talk to me, my son is saying. So I guess I better go. But anyway,
well, I think it's gonna be a long
nice to see you guys.
Yes.
And maybe I'll hop on next week if you've got the open link.
Absolutely. We always do. And you're welcome anytime. Appreciate you, sis. Take care. Have a good evening.
Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah.
Bye. But yes, she's in California. It's only 6:30 there. I know people wondering who's coming by. What is the FB? The only people that come by your house at 9:30 at night that you have to talk to is the police. Okay,
so it's like, that's if somebody's knocking on my door, it better be at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but she's in California. So yes, it's only 6:30 out there, so it could be anybody. But yes, I think picanha is wonderful, and it's the best thing about it. Not only is it's tender and juicy and moist and all that great stuff, and it's got great flavor, but it's around my way. It's $7.50 a pound, so you can't beat it to have. A quality cut of meat that you enjoy, that you don't have to spend a lot of time doctoring it up and tenderizing it up and all that stuff.
I actually did find it at my grocery store. I shouldn't say grocery store because I don't go in and buy anything other than I just go to the meat department. But they did have picanha last Friday. I went over and bought up a whole bunch of hamburger and stuff that they had for like $2.99 for 80/20. And I was like, yes, I will take as much of that. And they had no limits. So then I repackage it all out. But they had picanha and I was going to buy it.
Yeah.
It was exactly the same price as the ribeye. And I was like, well, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. That's too much.
I was like, no, if I'm going to pay ribeye price, I'm going to have ribeye.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the best, the biggest benefit of the picanha is it's a great, wonderful cut. And it's literally half the price, at least in our area. So that's, probably why they don't sell as much of it if they're putting that kind of price on it.
Yeah.
And
so it stayed on the shelf. I was like,
Yes, Rick has a question, and I guess this is for you. Where is the group for catch and cook chicken, duck, and iguana?
Hey, he can come in the group and teach all of us how to catch and cook. I can catch and cook chicken. I can do duck. It's not my favorite. Iguana, you'd have to be the person teaching.
Yes, you missed your group. It was 40 years ago. Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins.
Oh, that was a good show.
That was it. And Christy says, yes, Rob and I will be live on Saturday. Check them out over at Meeting Wellness, like on Christy's channel. And Jenny, yes, you were on the stream a few weeks ago talking about that. I have family there. As a matter of fact, I will be up in the Asheville area this weekend. My nephew Levi is getting baptized, and he wants his uncle to be there. So I will be headed up to North Carolina to see my people up there and attend the baptism. And they're in Hendersonville, which is not far from Asheville. And they had a lot of problems there. They were actually out of power about a week, and all that. So coming in from the east where I'm coming from, I won't have as much problem. I wanted to go over after the
No
Keto
palooza.
Palooza, but it was terrible. I was coming from the west, and everything was just shut down. There were so many detours and bridges out, and it was just it would have took me a week and a half to get there. I'd have been better off getting a horse and buggy. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go down and come up from the east there. But yes, I will be in North Carolina this weekend. And then Russ, Indy is going to get a new Brazilian steakhouse called Terragaccia soon. Look at that. It's Florida based. Have you been to one of these? I have not, and I've not even heard of it. I've been to Rodizio, I've been to Fogo, I've been to um, Ipanema, I've been to Texas de Brazil. I've been to lots of different ones, but I'm not familiar with that. It may be down further south, maybe Miami area, maybe. I don't know. But
Sounds delicious, though.
absolutely. And I don't think I can't remember if he was here. I listen, I'm old. I can't remember the things I say and when I said them, but Adam and Carrie were down here a couple of weeks ago filming Dante Ferrigno, and they reached out to me, and we went to a steakhouse down there, and they did not serve ribeye.
Oh,
I was about to burn the place down till I saw the picanha on the thing. Then I calmed down.
oh,
But
yeah.
they did not serve ribeye, and I'm like, what? I'm like, where's the ribeye guy? And they're like, oh, we don't serve ribeye here. I'm like, you don't what?
This
So
is the steakhouse.
yeah, they had picanha and a few other different cuts of sirloin, and of course they had the other chicken and the different things.
Sure.
So I
Right.
just ate twice as much picanha as I would have normally. But yeah, and it taught me a lesson. I'm gonna start looking these places up, especially
Yeah.
a new one, like one I've never heard of. I'm gonna look them up and see. We'll make sure they got ribeye in there, because that's one of the things too. I'm a natural born weirdo too, Russ. Hey, listen, we gotta
Mhm.
stick together. Yes, and there's king of the weirdos here. Rick is king of the weirdos.
Mhm.
Tried flanking ribs because of Chrissy too. They're awesome. Yeah, Christy is hooking people up with the meat recommendations there. I guess she's changing people's lives one steak at a time. So Adorable was a foghorn.
Of course
Uh,
it is. I'm
yeah,
not surprised.
I'm liking stew
New
meat
meat
cooked in air fryer and dipped in butter. Okay,
sounds
that's
delicious.
a little different thing. All right, good night, Bruce. We will
Mm.
see you. Actually, we will not see you next week. Announcement to everyone, and Bruce especially, because last time he missed the announcement, and he reached out to me. He's like, "Are you okay? There's no stream." It's like, yeah, I announced last week. I will be traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday next week. So next week we will not be live here at the Keto Cookout next Tuesday. So we will be off next week, but we will be back the week after that, of course. And but we may have some surprise footage from on the road there. We might have. I'm not going to promise because I'm terrible at footage. By the time I realize I didn't get any footage, I'm in my car and on the way home. It's like, I'll take out my phone, take out my stuff, and we'll start talking and joking and laughing. Next thing you know, like, okay, see you. And it's like I've recorded nothing. So I'm easily sidetracked. I have the attention span of a fruit fly. So I
Mhm.
will try to get some footage. We'll see what we get, but we're gonna be down in Florida there hanging out with some folks, and we'll see how it turns out. Sponsored by Mutual of Omaha. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. He remembers.
I think we're
Rick
showing
remembers
our
everything.
age.
Rick remembers everything, man. Not only does he remember everything, he has all the memorabilia in his home. He probably has an autographed a Mutual of Omaha life insurance certificate signed by Marlon Perkins. It probably
You might.
he has the phone that he talked to Marlon Perkins on, and the TV he watched Wild Kingdom on, probably.
And they all still work.
Yes.
Beef. Yeah.
Beef.
Yep.
Remember they used to put beef commercials on TV. Beef. It's what's for dinner.
They
Well,
used to,
yeah,
but boy, not no more.
it still is.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, on to another thing that happened to me this week. I was on the phone with my dad who was going to see a health practitioner, and I was on speakerphone with him, and we got in there and we were still talking, and they kind of heard it a little bit. And my dad, of course, he's very social. He's like, "Oh, we're talking about the carnivore diet. My son's about it." I'm like, "Dad, I'm ketogenic. I don't preach carnivore. I live carnivore, but especially in the doctor's office. I'm not trying to get, him thrown out of there." So, so and the doctor that he was with was kind of was a lady, I can't think of her name. And she was friendly and nice, and she was like, I do believe in, you know, moderate carbohydrates and this and that. And but you can't do a carnivore diet long term. It just doesn't work long term. And I really would have loved to get into that with her, but I didn't because I was on speakerphone. It was my dad's appointment, and so I could,
Wasn't the place or time.
and I could tell she was kind of being nice. She didn't, she didn't want to like get in, but that you hear that argument all the time. Oh, you can't do it long term. You can't do it long term. Well,
Except for most of humanity.
yeah, and I just try to, deal with things in my brand of evangelism. I'm out here for the common guy. I'm not a highbrow scientist. I'm lowbrow. Okay, I'm as lowbrow as I'm low, low,
Low, very low.
and I just try to look at it in a common sense way. You're going to tell me that the standard American diet, you can live to be 70, 80, 90 years old. I mean, there's lots of people out here who are 70, 80, 90 years old who eat the standard American diet every day. And yet this long term is going to be bad for me. I mean, that to me just doesn't make sense at all. Unless you're in love with the standard American diet, which I guess in many doctors and people, medical people are. They prescribe that diet to people. But the first question you have to ask is, okay, if we can't sustain it long term, then what can I expect? So, oh, well, heart attack and stroke. I'm sure that's what they'll say. Or, I'm sure she probably would have said, oh, well, your cholesterol is going to be ridiculously high. Or, I'm sure there would have been something like that. But what do you, when you hear that argument or that, what do you say to that?
Two things usually. I'm like, boy, I wonder. My ancestors were Cherokee Indian in Upper Illinois, and I am quite positive that they were not chasing around heads of broccoli. I'm
Yeah,
positive.
but come on now. And I hear you, but they ate a lot. They ate fruit and vegetables. They ate fruit and seeds,
They
and they ate
did,
vegetables.
but
And they ate a lot of
they
corn.
weren't
Yeah,
traveling long. They had maize. They had
yeah,
maize, but they were not traveling in packs and moving to follow fruit trees that were
yeah.
blooming because all there
That's
was
right.
really berry trees at that time. They
Yeah,
followed the herd animals. And
and
so the other thing I
there
say,
was no Olive Garden. There was no all you can eat bread.
right,
Okay.
right. But I just say also, and I do say this, I'm always like, I can't believe for 1 minute that an educated person would believe that man-made food that is hyper processed is ever going to be better for a human body than the food that God made and put on the earth. Even if that's single ingredient food that you do out of your garden, whatever it may be, that's still going to be
Yes,
loads
because
better.
that's people like my dad who, I twist his arm and, he eats more meat than he used to. But that's his biggest argument. God put it all on the earth for us, all the fruits, all the vegetables, and the meats, and we're supposed to be eating all of it, not just one part of it. All fruits and vegetables is not the answer. All
Ex-
meat
ex-
is not the answer.
that,
So
and so when
that's a moderate,
when
low carb, keto kind of stance.
And
And
if somebody says
I get
that,
that. Mhm.
which is true, and I mean, I did the clean keto for
Mhm.
26 of those years, and did very well until I went to the keto treats and the junk.
Yeah.
But unless you have heirloom seeds, or like I have saved some seeds from my
Yeah.
grandmother's garden in '84, you're not eating fruit and vegetables that haven't been genetically modified, that don't
Right.
have glyphosate. Even organic is allowed to now have glyphosate in it. I don't know how they still call it organic, but that was something the FDA did approve. But they are recalling, 80,000 pounds of butter because somebody forgot to put may contain milk on the container.
Mm,
That's what the FDA spends their time doing. So,
yeah.
yeah. But and I
So,
do.
so
I truly believe
tell the folks out there who don't know what glyphosate is. Tell them what that is and how
glyphosate
it's harmful.
is. Yep, yep. So it is a weed killer that is sprayed on, well, it's been sprayed really everywhere. So when you used to see the vehicles going down the interstate in between the median and they were spraying that, that's Roundup. It's
Yeah.
going to kill all the weeds, but the plants, so like corn, soybean, wheat, they've all been genetically modified, that they won't die from it, but it does get absorbed into it. And sometimes it's put right in the actual seed at their seed factory because I don't know if anybody knows this, but it used to be if you had a good year, you could keep some of these seeds and you could replant them. Well, now you're not allowed to do that. If they catch you doing it, you will go to jail because their technology is in the seed and they
Yeah.
own that. It's proprietary. So yes. So what the problem with the glyphosate is that it is a known carcinogen. That's why the big Monsanto thing kind of went up and Bayer took them in. Um, but they're still making the Roundup. It's still going on all the fields. It's still going, not all, but
Mm,
98%. It's still being sprayed in people's yards, on the highways. It's just everywhere. And it's a carcinogen and it is getting into our children's blood supplies. I mean, it's in our blood supplies, but when you look at, they've started on, the baby formula that has the
mhm.
stuff that's put in it that has that in it. And then they go to the crackers and the cereals and everything. All of that, the corn starts here, goes here, turns
Yeah.
into cornflakes. You got it. Um, and it's in so much of their foods that it's in their bloodstream. It is a detectable thing that they're finding in 10 and 12-year-olds now, um, which I think is atrocious and should really um, and maybe with people like, Callie and Casey Means,
Yeah.
RFK, people like that, I'm hoping that some of that can get cleaned up before we've destroyed a whole generation of kids, hopefully.
Yeah. So if you're saying if you go to the store and buy seeds to plant your own stuff, that's not really an escape. I mean,
Not
because
necessarily.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, they've been genetically modified, um,
yeah.
and, because now you're seeing on the back of packaged foods, it'll say bioengineered on it, and, my mom was like, "Yeah, it's just genetically modified." I said, "They are not gonna change the word GMO on a package on all of their food products if that didn't now contain something else under that term bioengineered." So I went out and looked for that, and it also can mean lab created. So that's when you see
Yeah.
bioengineered. So if I ever saw meat that said bioengineered,
Yeah.
I'm not touching it because who knows what it's made from.
Yeah. Rick says he has some Wild Kingdom. Okay, that's not news to us, Rick. That's
We're
that's,
not surprised.
Jenny says, I go to my son and daughter-in-law's doctor. He's thrilled that all three of us are doing carnivore diet. He says you can't deny
Excellent.
the outcome. Shout out to Dr. Barry. You must go to Dr. Barry, but that's what you want to go. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, listen, there's a few of them out there, and God bless them.
Yeah,
We
they're starting.
obviously we know Dr. Hampton and Dr. Kiltz and the folks that are obviously in our community, but there's others out there. Grateful and thankful for them because I tell you, that's something else that I see in my evangelism so often is a combative doctor, a doctor who's going to try to guilt you or shame you or pressure you or push you. And I'm not one that's going to prescribe bad motives. I don't think there's any you know any negative motives there. They are really doing, I believe, most of them, what they believe is right. There may be a few out there who are different than that, but I believe 90% of them, they really think that that statin is going to benefit you. They really think that your cholesterol going up, even though everything else is going the right way, is going to hurt you. um that's just what it is. And so I think when you can find a doctor that's at least not combative, it
Yeah.
makes life so much easier for you, because again, you're already going to have friends and family and people who are like, "Oh, that's crazy. You can't do that. You're going to die." But
Yeah.
when your doctor tells you that,
Yeah. It's a
listen,
little bit more serious.
you're going to have to stop and take a pause. Like, am I sure I'm doing the right thing here? Because my doctor just told me this is dangerous. So shout out to all those docs who have studied and learned and looked and taken this thing head on and come to some other conclusions, and at least aren't fighting you about it. That's really
Well,
half the
and
battle.
I think being in the field, I think is why I sometimes he's having his heart attack, chicken. Um,
Yeah.
but I think being in the field, I see it from a different side. I have seen, yeah, there's none in mine either, Rick.
Yeah.
um, but I've seen so many of these doctors, like even my stepdad, when he had his heart attack 2 years ago, they told him, "Well, we're not taking this statin till we run it past our daughter. We wanna see what she has to
Yeah.
say." And I used to work with him, and he said,
Yeah.
"Well, she's gonna tell you that you don't need this." And my mom is very much like me, but even less filter, and said,
Mhm.
"Would you take it if you were in the same predicament?" And he said, "I have to prescribe it because it's the policy of the hospital."
Sure, standard of care. I mean, we talked about that briefly, I
Yep.
think last week or the
Yeah.
week before, that, defensive medicine, they don't want to get sued, they don't want to get fired, they don't want to their malpractice insurance premiums to go up. So the book says,
Sure.
give you this, I'm going to give you
Yep.
that. I mean,
Yep.
that's unfortunately what medicine has become in large part. Arlene, good to see you
Yes.
here. Hi, Russ and Laura. My parents always wanted to save their seeds, especially my uncle. Had a fantastic
Yep.
tasting green chili.
Oh, darn, they
But
didn't
we
keep
didn't
them.
keep them. My folks had a huge garden and had animals. Now,
Smart.
I'm guessing, I know you grow some different peppers and things, Laura. So you've got
Mhm.
original seeds. You got like
I do.
seeds dating
Yep,
back to the Civil War.
84. Well, actually, the funny thing is I don't know how old these will have come from because my grandmother, they came over through Auschwitz and they brought their own seeds and stuff with
Hmm,
them. And so I took the last tomatoes, all the different types of tomatoes, and some of the peppers that she had, and I have saved those seeds and then used that and then saved the seeds and continued to do that all these years since then. Um, so
wonderful.
I don't know. I know that they don't put out as many tomatoes as those hybrided,
Yeah,
genetically modified plants, but when they're like this, and they weigh as
yeah,
much as a basketball, and my
yeah.
husband likes to eat tomatoes,
Oh
and he's
yeah,
like, "These are amazing," you know?
yeah,
Um, they're not as resilient against bugs and stuff like that,
yeah,
but I'm like, it's really easy to mix together water, cayenne pepper, um, dish soap, and garlic powder and spray it on those. No bugs,
yeah,
no nothing.
yeah,
Nothing touches them. Yeah, it's not
yeah.
that hard.
I love
Yeah.
that. Karen says, "Hey, Russell Lauren, been waiting for you to come on, but missed the beginning." Yes,
Aw,
we had a little technical difficulty there. You didn't miss anything, Karen. I
mhm.
was just being the goofball that I am. Arlene says, our doctor acted up and told my husband, "Oh wow, I've never seen a higher LDL 370. Told him to take statin, other drug. We didn't get
Perfect.
them. He saw Dr. Very video that helped him a lot." Yeah, I tell people I'm trying to get my cholesterol to 1,000. That's what I'm doing. I'm shooting for 1,000.
Well, and LDL, the higher your
Yeah,
LDL, that is showing that your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to. That's the
Yeah.
transporter. I mean, that is saying you got a well-oiled machine. That's perfect. I
Yeah,
strive to be there.
yeah, that's and just backtracking a little bit to what we were talking about before in terms of the negative effects. If you don't believe, cholesterol and all that is bad for you, that's really their number one thing. I mean, that's the only thing that that I've heard anyone say. I think if you saw Dr. Berry debated Dr. Khan on his
Mhm.
on shout out to Lauren Knight Hughes, my girl Laura had that
Yeah.
Lauren had that stream, and
Mhm.
that was like he just kept coming back to it. That he opened with he's like, well, one of my patients was doing pretty well until we looked at his cholesterol, and I saw his numbers had shot up high, and I asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, my wife started this carnivore diet, and I joined in with her just to support her with it, and I feel great, and my blood pressure's down, and my weight is down, and my blood sugar's down, and my A1C is down, and everything is going great. My cholesterol's up." And Dr. Khan just, I mean, he was like a dog on a bone with that
Dogmatic.
cholesterol thing. Whoa, but your cholesterol, your cholesterol, your cholesterol. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you get past that, you're home free. And the other thing that I always say about the long-term effects is if something's going to have a long-term effect on you, at some point you'll see the beginning of
Yeah.
it. And it's like if you tell me, hey, that carnivore diet, you're going to grow hair out of your eyeballs. It's ridiculous. It's going to mess up your vision. Okay, well, after a while, I should start to see a little, follicle
Yeah.
because I'm not going to wake up one morning and I got a full afro
Yeah.
coming out of my eyeball. You know, it's going to happen over
That'd
time.
be cool.
No, I don't think it'd be cool at
No.
all. And listen, I've had an eyelash in my eye, okay, and it wasn't
Oh,
cool. So,
felt like it was a foot.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like if these things, okay, throw out the cholesterol because we believe that's good for us and it doesn't cause heart attacks and strokes. Okay, and that's what I would have said to that doctor. That to backtrack, there was a doctor
Yeah.
that I was talking.
Yeah.
If I would have had time, I would have said, well, what's the long term effect? I fully would have expected her to say cholesterol. Okay, got
Yep.
it. We don't believe that's bad for us. We're not worried about that whatsoever. What else? I would have been curious
Mhm.
to hear what the answer may have been because, again, if that is the case, you would see a beginning sign of it. If it's going
Yeah.
to, I don't know, deteriorate your bones or something, yeah, you'll be able to see gradual bone loss. It's not going to be overnight. You're going to see whatever
Yeah.
miracle or whatever terrible thing that makes
Right.
this way of living unsustainable. You should see signs
Yeah.
of it early. And
Well, and you
again,
see people.
but if you think that cholesterol is bad for you, then yes, then
Mhm.
you have no because it's going to go up, and it's going to go up
Yeah.
pretty quick once you start living this way.
Yeah. And the thing is, you look at people like I've been doing carnivore 5.5 years now.
Yeah,
Charger is what, 40 years?
yeah,
I think
exactly.
Kelly Hogan's at what, 15?
Sure. I mean, there's many. Look at Maggie up
Something.
in Canada, the rancher up in Canada,
Yeah.
50 plus years.
Yeah.
And that's my point.
60
Is
some
like
years she's been doing it.
exactly, and that's my long-winded way of saying that. Okay, I've been doing it a couple years. You've been doing it 6 months. The cholesterol is up, no doubt about it. I see it.
Yeah.
You think it's a danger sign? I don't. But you're making my point is that when you change your diet, things are going to start happening. Everything is good except for this one thing that you say is bad that I don't think is bad. Okay.
Mhm.
If that's the case, then long term can't possibly be bad for me if
Yeah.
short term is not bad for me, other than the thing that we disagree about if it's bad.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, and like I get to come at it from this cardiac stance of
Yeah.
open heart and cath lab. And it was people who had some of the lowest cholesterol numbers I've ever seen in my life. Like one lady was in double digits. And I'm like, and full. And one had been vegetarian as a child
Yeah.
and then became vegan while she was in medical school and was maybe 51, 52. She was fairly young still. She had
Yeah.
never had so much as an egg, a
Yeah.
piece of butter, I mean, nothing.
Oh
And
yeah.
she had to have a 5-way bypass, and I'm like, something
Yeah.
ain't right. That
It's
ain't butter
all
and
that fake steak and phony baloney. I know all about
yeah.
that. I grew up in the Adventist church, and the diets of many of them are terrible. Even by
Yeah.
standard
And their
American diet
bones.
standards, they're terrible. They don't eat
Yeah,
meat.
and their
They
bones are
literally eat
bad.
everything else but meat. You know what I mean? It's just,
Mhm.
and the fake meats and the artificial meats again are just, they're just processed
Yeah.
food, a lot of grains and seed oils, and some of them are actually very good. Growing up
More
eating,
glyphosate.
yeah, some of them are delicious, but when you look at the label, it's just, I mean, you got to have a PhD to read most of it, and it's just,
Yeah.
it's just not there. Kimberly says my doctor was okay with keto but not carnivore. He's been my doctor 15 to 16 years. He says I'm playing with fire. He prescribed me cholesterol med. I'm not taking them. Well, again, we're not doctors, and we have to be careful about telling you to take things or not take things or whatever. Um, but hey, listen, we're not scared of fire over here. Fire is wonderful
Right.
to sear our steaks
That's
with.
right.
So um, again, I'm sure you have a wonderful doctor who's just, I think, as Dr. Barry would say, he's working off of outdated information. Um, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this, but this has been talked about on other streams, and that is that, doctors, Dr. Barry says it all the time. Doctors are just dudes and chicks. They're not, there's nothing special about them. Yes, they have some education and some training, but they're just folks. They're just people. And like all people, you have a mix of types. Some people are naturally curious and want to evolve and grow and learn. Other people are stuck in their ways and they think they know it all. Some people are humble and looking to learn. I heard Dr. Georgia Ede say that one time. It was an amazing thing to hear a doctor say, I learn from my patients every day. She says
How it should be.
they come to me looking for help and they have no idea how much they're helping me. I mean, what a
Mhm.
wonderful, humble thing for somebody to say. And that's, a model for life. You should always be looking for knowledge, always be looking to learn. You should never think you know everything.
That's right.
Certainly,
To be a
some things,
sponge. Yeah.
but at the same time, you have to be open to changing and learning. And if data hits you in the face or something else comes along, some other information comes along, be willing to listen to it, think about it, put it through its paces and try to come out with a logical answer or a logical argument, and be willing to change. So yeah, I mean, if your doctor is that type of person and you have that type of relationship with him, say, hey, let me send you a couple of videos, about cholesterol. Let me send you a couple of videos about statins. Dr. Barry has several statin videos, the top 10 things that statins do to you, or bad things or side effects. I can't remember, but
Right.
I've sent them
Mhm.
out to lots of different people, and hopefully, have a doctor that's okay to learn. And again, he's dealing with 20-year-old, cholesterol information is what it sounds
And
like to me.
he can't go
Yeah.
against the facility that he works for. But I had a patient bring this up to me today, and I was like, and he had some bad advice that caused him to have cardiogenic shock, which is very bad. And he said when I questioned the doctor, he was like, well, I missed that because we're not allowed to look at it. I'm only allowed to look at the things that this policy states that I can look at. And he's like, you're a general practitioner. You should have been looking at my everything. And he's like, that's not, and he said, that's no excuse. He says, I excuse you for that until you see that that's harming your patients. And then he says, I know that the insurance is expensive, but he said, why can't you get in with 2 or 3 other decent doctors and go out on your own? Because then it's cheaper to get that insurance. And where I live, we do have several who have said, we're not staying in this broken system. We're going to go out where they don't have to follow that type of
Yeah.
guidelines. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. But and I know it's hard. These guys get done or gals get done with college and they're $500,000
Yeah.
in debt, if not
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And when you got that promise, that carrot in front of you that, hey, we'll pay off your student debt if you sign to work with us for 5 years or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
that they don't realize that they're signing like the Diddy contract. Yeah, you're going to be doing something for that money.
Well,
But
I don't think it's the Diddy contract. Let's hope
well,
not. I'm not hey, if you ever find baby oil in your hospital in cartons, this is
you got some explaining to do, Linda.
yeah, but again, I do believe that people have good
That's
intentions, but if he's not a naturally curious person or an intellectually curious
yeah,
person who's going to continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to read studies, I mean, Dr. Berry does this every day. He's naturally
yeah.
curious. He wants to see the latest studies and know the latest information. I mean,
I
it's
don't think I want to see a physician that doesn't have that though. That would probably be enough for me to be like, I probably
yeah,
need to
but
try for a
in
while.
fairness, especially a general practitioner, it's a mill. You just got to see 30 patients a day or 50 patients a day or whatever
I
in
know.
order to pay your bills and to keep the money flowing in. Then you got your family and then you got your whatever things you're interested in. For a lot of people, the last thing you want to do after seeing a bunch of patients and then with the family is to sit down and look at medical studies. For a lot of them, that's just
I bring
doesn't
them. I
intrigue them.
bring studies with me. I did a video with the carnivore brothers
Yeah. Mm.
several months back,
Yeah.
and we
Well,
did it on cholesterol. And
yeah.
we have like all the links to the different studies. And the sad thing of it, I mean, my doctor did look at those because I would drop one off every so often, like here, because they're geeky. They're into that, reading the studies. They want to see, all of that information there. And she's done much better, over the last couple years. Um, but the sad thing was some of the links that we share of these studies are studies that were done with Ansel Keys,
Mhm.
after Ansel Keys, but down that many decades ago. And they knew, you can see in the study, they absolutely knew the truth. And that's even the worst thing
Yeah.
is that they knew
Yeah.
it.
Well, again,
Yeah,
there's a
that's
there's
what
that
just,
there's that side of it too. I don't believe that's a majority. I think it's maybe a significant minority. Most of them, especially younger folks that come out of med school, they just listen. It's a business. That's the other thing we haven't talked about yet is medicine is a business. Medications and operations will get you lucrative compensations. That's just how it works. There's no money in curing people. Money is in treating people, whether that's medicating, operating, that's where the money is. And so there will always be a money motive to drugs and operations. If I tell you,
yeah,
hey, do this and you don't have to come back in here for 5 years, how do I get my swimming pool? I mean,
yeah.
unfortunately for some, that's really what it is. Kim says, yep, lost weight, blood pressure good, glucose good, but cholesterol is so bad, you got to go on a pill. That's what my doctor said to me. Well, here's what I would say to that. And this is what I say to people anytime they bring up cholesterol as an issue. And 99% of the time, they don't know any of these things. I ask them, do you know that your brain is made of fat and cholesterol? Do you know the lining of your blood cells is made of fat and cholesterol? You know that your nerve endings linings are made of fat. Do you know all your hormones are made of fat and cholesterol? Do you know that 75% of the cholesterol in your body, your liver made? Your liver's not trying to poison you.
Yeah.
We need cholesterol. Cholesterol is good for us. There are studies that people with high cholesterol have longer lives, lower rates of cancer, lower rates of
Lower all-cause mortality of death.
dementia, Alzheimer's, all these things.
Yep.
There are studies that show that. So again,
Mhm.
some folks are working on outdated old data. It's kind of like Rick down there on that old rotary phone.
With his VHS player.
Yes, it still works. but there's better
Okay.
out there, you know? So it's just
Mhm.
one of those things, man. And again, if they're open to it, and I asked them respectfully. I've asked so many people, hey, are you open if I send you a video from a doctor that I listen to? Because see that, again, just my brand of evangelism. I don't run down people's doctors. I don't run down people's families. I don't, I get it. Trust me. When I meet somebody, and I meet a ton of them who say, well, my doctor said, the first thing you want to say, well, your doctor's a moron. It's like, it's like, oh, your doctor's a. I take a little softer, I don't hit them with the hammer. I say,
Yeah.
hey, I get it. I said, I've got a doctor too. My doctor sees things differently. I'm sure your doctor means well, but I think, your doctor's working on outdated information. If your doctor's open to it, send him a link to this video and he
Yeah.
can get a little more modern information. Because hey, he's probably busy, doesn't have time. He just, is in his rut, in his routine. This is what you do.
Yeah.
It's like, these things, understand, to us it's a big deal. To him, it's just another person to come in office. You're the 43rd person this week that's, said that has an A1C of 7. You're just going
Yeah.
through the motions. It's unfortunate sometimes what it comes down to. And so sometimes you can get them out of their rut with your story and your good results and some information that they can use to hopefully build upon to
Mhm.
maybe come to some different conclusions. We're glad to see you too, Arlene. Glad to see you're back here. Kim says he did offer me Topamate and phentermine to lose weight, but I turned it down. Yeah. I don't know what any of those things are, but I'd have turned them down too.
And Teramine is a kind of like Adderall. It's like a methamphetamine. It's like
Oh,
speed.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
topiramate stops your appetite, but it actually was an antidepressant that they found also made you not hungry. So it's just more pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Now, what about, did I hear you one time talking about berberine?
Mhm. I take berberine every day.
You do? Well, there you
I
go.
do.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. See, you think I don't pay attention to you. And you're right. Most of the time I don't. But I caught that. You caught me at a weak
Yeah.
moment. I was listening to you.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
okay. So when did you start taking it and why do you take it? And tell folks
I've
what it is that don't know.
yeah. So berberine sounds like a commercial. It's an ancient Chinese herb of 2,000 years at least, which it has been used for 2,000 years. It works very similar in the body to what metformin does for diabetics. It helps the food be broke down. It helps it get out to where it's supposed to get to the cells. So I have taken it probably 3 years, 4 years. It's been a while now. And I just take it once a day, but a lot of people I work with that are diabetic, I have several patients who were taking metformin, which they had a lot of really bad side effects from. And I'm like, hey, ask your doctor about this. And a couple of them, their doctors are like, yeah, I've heard of that stuff. Yeah, they say it works. You could try it. They were very open to it and it worked and it brought their hemoglobin A1Cs down also. Um, not like drop it down a whole point in like 2 months, but it was like within like that first 3 months, you could see that they had dropped, like the one was 6'9", I think she's 6'2", and then when she did the next 3 months, she was 5'5". So she's like, "I'm where I need to be," so she's just gonna do it once a day just to keep it that way, and the reason I started taking it is because even at 20, when I was borderline diabetic, and even up until I was just a couple, maybe a year before I started carnivore, I convert all carbohydrates into sugar very quickly. I could eat broccoli out of my garden, just barely seared and had butter, and my blood sugar would go 200 to 250 points up. And so I just convert very quickly, which just, I mean, part of that was because I had done the damage to my body at such a young age, Pop Tarts and all the pizzas and stuff like that,
I have
that
no, I
my
have no
body
idea. I
just
have no idea what that is. I don't know. I'm not familiar.
Pizza. You're like, what? Pizza. But I think I had damaged my body to where it just every single
Mhm.
carbohydrate it considers a sugar. And
Mhm.
so I think staying on me doing that just once a day has kind of helped with all of that. And I feel great. And I don't want to boast, but I lost 5 pounds within the last 7 days. And I wasn't trying. I have eaten the most amount of fat, like
Mm.
ribeye fat.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that happened.
Well, you got a haircut. That's probably
I know. We went for a walk or after we got home and it was already dark. And you saw how much hair my husband has. It's like not
Mhm.
very much. And has it on this big stocking cap. And we come back in and he goes, dang it. And I was like, and I didn't even wear a hat. And he goes, if I had hair like you, I wouldn't have to wear a hat either.
Yeah, I tried that trick. Oh, I lost 5 pounds. I don't know how. So I can only I did it one time and then But
Yeah.
so why I guess I don't giving knowing how you eat and such, why do you feel like you need to take it now? I understand maybe when
Well,
you were in your old life, but
I think because of the way my body converts, I think I had cellular damage that I don't think is completely resolved. It may be at some point, but I want to get like a CGM and eat the way I eat. I want to see if I can introduce like my salsa, some different things in, see what that does and see what it does to my blood sugar. If I don't have to, um, take it. I may not, but it's still good to help get the nutrients to the body that it's supposed to. So it's kind of like a carrier. It really kind of helps that. So it's good for liver, stuff like that. So a lot of people that have fatty liver disease, I'm like, that's a good one to be on. So, and like I
well,
said, I know of at least 2 people I work with and 2 patients that their doctors are like, "Yeah, we've heard of that. Yeah, yeah, I think it does good." And they were like, "Yeah, let's try it." And they all of them have had good outcomes. So, I don't think it's a bad thing to look into.
yeah, no, I hey, who knows? I'll try anything once or twice. Arlene says my husband lost 55 pounds in a year on carnivore, 70 on low carb. We did that for 4 years. I lost 7 pounds also, and his A1C is down to 5.8 from 8.3.
Yay.
Oh, we love that. Love to hear that. And I lost
Yeah.
10 pounds on low carb, 10 on carb, 5.6. Yeah. I love that, man.
Yeah.
And it's not just weight loss. I always,
No. Yep.
always have to. I feel
Healing.
like I have to push that because the first thing that people say in many cases when I'm out evangelizing is, "Oh, I don't need to lose any weight," and a lot of them are right. A lot of them are, thin built or they work out, they're in shape, and they don't realize it. So we're like, okay, great. You don't need to lose any weight, but you're on anxiety medication, or
Right.
you have type 2
Thyroid.
diabetes, or
Mhm.
you've been on blood pressure medication for 7 years,
Yeah.
because your health is not in the mirror and it's not on a scale.
Right.
Your health is in your
Right.
blood. And so when you pull that blood work and you look at it, you're like, whoa. And your
Yeah.
doctor will tell you it's okay.
Yeah.
I
You're
see
in
it.
those ranges.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you see it all the time and you hear it all the time. They got the goofy commercial. I know you've probably seen it. I've got type 2 diabetes, but I manage it
Oh,
well.
yeah.
It's a little pill with a big story to tell. Okay.
Yeah.
I tell people all this all the time too. You don't need to manage diabetes.
Yeah.
Managing diabetes is like, what if a pest control guy came in your house and told you could manage these
Yeah.
roaches?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you can. Oh, you got roaches, but you can manage them. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What?
we're gonna help you. We're
I
going
don't
to
want to.
charge you monthly to help you
Yeah,
manage.
I don't want to manage roaches. I'm not a roach
Yeah.
wrangler. I want to get rid of them. I want them gone. And that's
Yeah.
exactly, how I feel about the type 2 diabetes. I'm like, I don't want to manage it. I want to make it disappear. And that same doctor, and this is what it annoys me. The same doctor who's telling you that your cholesterol is too high and you got to get on this drug has no idea that the number one indicator for heart attack and stroke is diabetes. That's the number one.
Absolutely.
And he
It
will
is.
tell you to manage that
Yeah.
by taking these
Instead of
pills and
Yeah, and
he's
insulin.
worried about cholesterol when you're a type 2 diabetic. You know, that's what he needs to be worried about. No, you got to get rid of this diabetes. That is what's going to give you a heart attack and stroke, not this cholesterol. So, you know, I think enough preaching here. Are you talking about metformin? Yes, we've had lots of strength come back to our body. That's anxious, a lot of sleep. Yeah, metformin is just one. There's other drugs out there
Yeah,
for type 2 diabetic.
Januvia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Januvia,
Oh,
glipizide.
Jardiance is the one with the I take once daily, Jardiance,
Oh, yeah.
and he
Yeah.
stays fine. Oh, I can't
Hopefully
get the goofy song.
I hope we go back to 1987. I really do, and I think that may happen in the next so many months. I hope those are gonna be gone. Yep.
Yeah,
And you can
berberine,
get
yeah.
berberine on Amazon, um, and that comes in either 500 or 1,000 milligrams.
Yeah.
So basically what we did with the patients I worked with their doctor, one of them was on 500 milligrams of metformin, twice a day, so they put berberine 500 twice a day in place of it. The other fellow was doing 1,000 milligrams in the morning just one time, so he would take 2 of that and slowly, within about a week, tapered off of the metformin and has done perfect. And the doctor's on board. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I got an I get them all the time, but shout out to Dr. Ben Bickman. He is affiliated with a company called Health Code HLTH. And I do drink the shake. They have a shake product that I drink maybe twice a month, just as a supplement kind of thing that I like, and I travel with it. And they also have a berberine product, which they say is the purest. Which I don't know if it is or not. I believe him. Dr. Bickman is he's
But I think he's
our
a good guy.
Yeah. And so I get advertisements for that. I've never bought it, never used it. The only things that I take, I do, like I said, I drink the Health Coach shakes about once every 2 weeks. And I take
Better be taking that K2D3.
hey, look,
Russell.
it's right here. And
Okay.
I've taken probably about 3 of them since I bought this 2 months ago. I'm just, just pray for me.
It's
That's
gonna
all
be
you do.
winter time, although I guess it doesn't get super
No,
cold maybe where you live.
no, it does not.
You
But
don't get
yeah,
enough sun and you have all that melanin that blocks you from getting the vitamin D.
just say a prayer. That's just all you can do. Just say
I'm
a
gonna
prayer.
say a prayer.
And
Don't be
then,
bad nerds.
but I do. Hey, listen, it's a miracle that I have it. So so, and then Gary Brecka, we've talked about him.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
This is his. It's a multivitamin product that he
Methylated.
does. How was that? What'd you
Is
say?
it methylated?
Yes.
Methylated?
Oh my gosh! Listen,
Yeah.
I know you probably can't see this, but I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys can see it, but
That's pretty good.
this is all the stuff that's in it. You can see it's like
Yeah.
I'm going the wrong way. Two different
Yeah.
label sizes. Oh my gosh, it's got everything in it. I don't take it either. I take it sometimes when I think about it. I'm like, oh, I'll pop a couple of them, but
That's like
I'm
putting
not.
a condom on 1 time out of every
Oh,
5. Come on.
I wouldn't have thought of it that way, but
That's how my brain works, baby.
hey, listen, I'm pretty sure we ain't gonna have no kids if I don't take the pills. but yes, I should be more diligent about it. I should be more diligent about a lot of things, okay? But that's what makes me me. People can look at me, and it should be great for your self-esteem, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at me, you should feel very good about yourselves. That's all I can really say.
I think you need to take a look at what you look like today, your face, and, just like you right now, and look at you when, like, in the beginning of your video, when you put out that thing where you have on that maroon shirt,
Oh, I
and
know.
you take a look. Holy crap! I'm like,
Listen,
first
one
of
of
all,
these
you
days,
look about 10 years younger.
I'm gonna blow your mind. One of these days, I'm gonna put on a picture when I got my driver's license, and a picture probably about 6 years later of back to I think it was May of this year, maybe March of this year, when I went to Costco for the first time and got my ID. I mean, it looks like two different people. Yes, listen, I'm on my, I'm doing my thing. I have
Yeah.
I have like a 25-year plan, okay? And I'm in
You're
year
like,
2 of
well, and
I'm
what
in year 2
it
of
is
my
true.
25-year plan. So, just
That's
back up
right.
off me, people. Leave me alone, people. Go to
And the thing is, I agree with you. I have so many people that are like, I only lost 17 pounds in 3 weeks. And I'm like, Jesus, like,
Yeah, yeah,
first of all, you got to heal everything because you may lose a little bit of that water weight in the beginning, but until you've healed the issues that are going on inside you,
yeah,
your body's going to hang on to it. And I'm like, if you're doing this because you just want to get super skinny, you might get there eventually, but it's not an overnight thing. And none of us got to the size we were when we started
yeah.
this. It didn't happen overnight.
Listen, I'm not that kind of person that takes a lot of things. I mean, I don't take anything too hard. I do what I can do. I just live my life. That's what I always say. I'm not, I've changed my life, changed my diet. I still listen. Thanksgiving Day is coming. You might want to say a prayer. You might want to say a prayer on Wednesday and Thursday for that. Uh, but it's what it is.
Mhm.
It'll be what it'll be, and then back to life, back
That's
to
right. Back
reality.
to reality.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
So
sang with you.
yes, you did, and yeah, it sounded pretty good too there. So that's how I live. I don't worry about a day here or there. That's not my normal. It's not how I live every day. It's how I used to live every day. But
Yeah.
and it'll be what it'll be. And
Yeah.
that's what I take every day that way. I win.
Yeah.
I win most days. Some days
Sometimes we don't.
but I just take it day by day, and I never quit. You can't.
That was something.
I tell people all the time, like, "Oh, I'm so scared. I'll go back to never. That could never happen to me. I know too much. I could
Yeah. But
never
there,
go back to my old life." Yeah,
I do think there are people who are true addicts that they
yeah,
can't do that, but just
yeah,
like in that Marco Polo group that we do, one of the gals had fallen off the rails and had just one day, and it had like apple crisp and apples, and I don't remember
yeah,
several different things or whatever. And it's so easy to be like so destructive to ourselves, like, well, might as well
yeah,
be off for the whole week. And it's like,
yeah.
no, just start
No,
tomorrow or start Wednesday,
yeah.
just
Well, listen, I
one
am an
day
odd
and
bird.
yeah.
I'm an odd bird. I say it all the time, but I got this size on ignorance, really, and laziness, because I'm naturally lazy. But if I'd have known, well, I take that back, because I did know, but I didn't know that I knew, because I read Dr. Atkins' book in the '90s, but everybody thought he was a quack. So, you know, and even he didn't. Even he said this isn't a long term solution. This will just help you get through. But the point I'm making is if I'd have known 30 years ago what I know now, I wouldn't be this size. I promise you. I guarantee you, I wouldn't. Um,
Right.
I just didn't know. I thought I was doing the right thing, eating all that rice and all those beans and all that fruit and all those vegetables and
Mhm.
eating granola for breakfast. And I thought I was doing the right thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just what it is. But now that I know, I could never. I just can't. I can't go back to that life. Here
Yeah.
and there, I dibble and dabble, but no, my life is what it is. I'm very happy with it. I'm doing well with it. I'm happy with my success. Listen, I would be lying through my teeth if I said, yeah, you look around and you see, oh, this guy lost 100 pounds in 30 days, and this guy lost 250 pounds in 6 months. Yeah, but most of those people were way heavier than me, and
Yeah.
their lives were such that they were very highly motivated. I mean, they lived to a
And they
later.
were sickly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
one of those people that
That's
even
part
if
of
you
my
do go off
problem.
the rails, yeah, you don't have that pain where like I can eat my salsa, because once in a while I'm like, I had sinusy coming last week, and I was really getting, and I was like, I need my salsa because that always, kind of breaks it down. And then I did my tincture, and it worked anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
but the next morning, and I had like 5 great big tablespoons of it, but the next day, I mean, I couldn't even do this and I was like, God. So
Yeah,
I'm one of those that
crazy.
it does affect me, but some people just don't. And that's
Yeah,
good.
that's crazy to me.
Okay.
Not as this sounds. You're so
You're so
lucky.
delicate.
You're so,
Delicate.
you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Arlene says, "Yeah, she looked really good, Russ." Listen. I have one question. Compared to who? Okay, that's what I want to know.
Let's clean her thing off. What is she
Yeah,
doing?
open your eyes. Yeah, she's just listening. She's
Careful, he
not
won't
even.
be able to walk out of his room. His head will be like
Stop it. I'm not built that way. You know that.
I know that.
Well, okay. We'll do one last question for my girl Arlene, since I haven't seen her in a while here, and we will do this, and then we will have fulfilled our contractual obligations to the family. I
Yes,
think
so
Laura's
I
been
will
abducted.
show you.
Oh, I was going to
So
say,
I was gonna show that is oregano oil that I use, which is antibiotic, basically. And then I do elderberry tincture,
yes,
as Russ would call it.
yeah. That's for the
And that
ladies. That's
helps
for the
keep
ladies
all
only.
of the viruses.
Listen, hey, it tinctures was a great hit at the Diddy parties. They love the tincture.
Yeah, they probably would love the
Yeah,
tinctures. I
they
mean,
ran out of
they
tincture. They had
probably
a
like
thousand bottles of baby oil, and no, they didn't find any tincture.
I'd probably rather, I was gonna say, have my oil-based stuff. Yeah, they don't wanna do that at that tincture.
Yeah,
They'd have to do
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oil
But that's
based.
what I use.
Tincture's
Yeah.
real popular in San Francisco. But in any event, folks, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, but no, thank you, Kimberly Meyer, for
Yes.
hanging out with us here on another
Yes.
edition of the Keto Cookout, where we really talk about nothing. You never know what we're going to talk about or who's going to show up, but that's what makes it fun. We just want to
Yeah.
just have fun, hang out with each other, and like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. You can go to Russell Brands with a Z, russellbrands.com to see her wonderful products, her tooth powders and her lotions and things that she makes with love by hand. And I don't have anything really coming up here. I got a couple Reverend ideas, just got to get them out. But
Yay.
and don't forget, next week, no Keto Cookout next week. We'll be off next week, traveling for Thanksgiving. And just say a prayer for me on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know what it's going to be, how it's going to go. I don't think about it. I take every day as it comes. And
Gonna have to send you a text and say, "Hey,
yes,
we
how
need
bad?
to do some."
Just send me a text. How bad was it? That's really. Hey, listen, last year I texted a picture of my plate to Adam Lacey. He probably still has it. I sent a picture. I'm like, here's what it is. And it was not nearly what it used to be. But listen,
Yeah.
I'm not a superhero from the planet Carnivore. I am but a man. I'm a mere mortal. So
That's right.
yes, I nibbled a little bit, but didn't take any home. They begged me to take some home with me. I did not. I'm like, no boxes, no, no. I'm out of here.
No. Yeah.
It's
I don't
been
do that
enough.
either.
Yeah. So, but anyway, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. With my man Rick will be here. The Duck Man
All
himself
right.
will be in the building 2 weeks from now with us
I
in
would say
December.
woof, 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 but it should be
Yep.
quack, quack, quack.
Yep. Quack quack to my friend, my brother. We will see him. He'll be here with us. And you guys have a great week. And as always, we wish you all the best. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.